Here at the William Mary Entrepreneurship Hub, we're all about catalyzing entrepreneurial thinkers who take action. Why? Because we've witnessed how this toolkit propels individuals to make meaningful progress in endeavors they care about deeply. So whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur, an aspiring innovator, or just curious about the mindset, this podcast is your ticket to insights, stories, and practical tips. Join us on the journey, because entrepreneurial thinking isn't just for startups. It's a versatile set of skills and a mindset that can help solve wicked problems and transform lives. Welcome back to another episode of the William and Mary Entrepreneurial Thinkers podcast, where we unpack the mindsets and habits that drive creativity, resilience, and action. I'm your host, Brandon Hennessy, and today we're going to explore the topic that is at the heart of every successful venture, artistic endeavor, and bold community initiative collaboration. And today I'm joined by two remarkable guests who live and breathe creative partnership. First, I'm welcoming Monica Turley to the show. Monica is a therapeutic arts advocate and creative producer with a background in psychology, fine arts, and brand development. She's worked across corporate, nonprofit, and artistic spaces, always centering empathy, access, and purpose in everything she builds. And returning to the podcast, for those who have listened before, is Tessa Hall-Duquette, a muralist, community builder, and founder of The Garage, a vibrant creative hub and art gallery in Virginia Beach. If you're listening to our episode, if you've listened previously to the episode of Grit, you'll recognize Tessa. So she brings heart, bold energy, and business savvy balance to every project. So together, Monica and Tessa are launching a new nonprofit dedicated to supporting artists at every stage of their journey. Their partnership is a powerful example of what's possible. Welcome to the show, Monica, and welcome back, Tessa.
Thank you.
Did that do justice to the bio?
Wow, yes.
Okay.
I got goosebumps.
Okay, great.
Started to cry a little.
Oh, okay. Well, let's maintain that openness. Okay, so Tessa, I want to start with you. Since our last episode, give us a quick refresher of The Garage, what's been happening and kind of how did it begin?
Sure. So really it began in, January of 2023, where I really just needed a place to put my paint for my murals.
Okay. So it started out of your need.
Yes,
okay.
Definitely. And we were actually talking about this, Monica and I, before I even moved in, she came and sat with me in this jumble of this space. There were chairs and tables everywhere. And we talked about a community place for it. And we actually talked about a nonprofit. And so it's really magical that now here we are almost 3 years later and it's actually happening. But Monica's been with me from the beginning with The Garage. She's been one of my teachers for the art classes and really just a sounding board for everything. So since I saw you guys last year, lots has happened. I really turned The Garage into more of an art gallery. So from the art gallery has been going on for about 1.5 years now, and we've had great success with group shows and solo shows. And then we've been doing more art classes geared towards more adult classes. Okay.
I was just about to ask, Is it completely open to the community? Is it focused on students? What's the mix?
The mix really is...
We've done it all. So it's been a few-year journey, but when the space opened, it was simultaneously spring and summertime. So the perfect time to launch art camps for children. So we started out really bold. I was at the moment teaching in private schools and homeschool co-ops for art education. So I already had all these curriculums that I had developed in my mind, and we just kind of tied them into a 6-week program. Mm-hmm. That was the most beautiful experience. Mm-hmm. It was a great way to kick off The Garage. It was open to the public. We kept it small. I think we capped each at 12.
It was 12. Mm-hmm.
And unintentionally, I think we did a full week of camp, and I said, there's no way we are not matting all of this work and putting on a show at the end of it. Mm. So it ended up becoming this really beautiful dance all summer where we would do a few days of camp and then shut down for a day, make a huge space of celebratory show for the children to come bring their families. They dressed up, they were gifted flowers. It was just really, really amazing to watch the children not only enjoy the camp, but then have the opportunity to celebrate and display their work and then take it down in these beautiful carry bags. It was great. So starting there, we started with children. We've continued that on days off where private and public schools in the areas have days off from school. We'll try to coordinate with that. But awesome. Recently we've tried to extend to adults and do more kind of like a fine arts experience that a lot of us miss from college and studio work. Planting it here and there as we can.
Okay, I love that. So you had described a week into that camp experience, you had this like reflective moment. Was that an emergent thing that you recognized as like, or did you had planned?
I think you had planned it.
I had done it prior with homeschool co-ops, having them not have the school environment to show their work. I had used the garage for my homeschool co-op classes. At the end of their class session, which we would do in their homes, we would end with a celebration show at the garage. So that's where the idea started for camp.
Okay. Awesome. So Monica, you shared your bio with me and you have a background in therapeutic arts and artistic support. So with that, how does that intersect with you all's mission at Garage?
So I think unintentionally, a lot of our classes have become very cathartic for the participants. So while I'm leading class, sometimes I will intentionally or subconsciously lead a little thoughtful mind gesture at the same time while you're working on your art. Something that I naturally do, and sometimes when I'm leading a figure drawing class or a watercolor class, it's easy to get frustrated. So I try to be that voice, more of a guide than an instructor in a class, encouraging you to work through the pains or remain in the classroom. Do not leave this room and get on your grocery list mentally, or remain present. And it's so hard in our world of digital presence where we always are simultaneously typing a document on social media and on a phone call at the same time. Like more is more. We are marketed constantly to be having our hands in more places at one time. That makes us more effective. And that I think is such a lie. And it robs us of our innate ability to focus for such a long period of time and be present. So having a live model in front of you or a still figure on a table or just a watercolor palette, remaining engaged and in person, present. I think our students have, the feedback we've received after class has been through the roof about how this wasn't only benefiting through the arts, but how mentally and emotionally and just physically they felt reset afterwards. So my educational background is in psychology. Actually spent a huge bulk of my undergrad in nursing school. And in my final few months, I made a switch and I chose not to finish and took the route of fine arts and psychology with a goal to go to art therapy school. And I think that all just resonates with me deeply because understanding the body fully, understanding the art practice and how they can be intertwined.
Yeah, the expression. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The special part about all this is in this journey that we've gone through with the Garage and all of Monica's classes and everything, I've been a student. So with the camps at the beginning, she had the curriculum and then I was her number two. So I was like, all right. And I started learning stuff that art history, I must have slept through those classes in college. It was all these things that started coming back. So not only are the children learning, but I started learning. And the figure drawing class that we just finished, I think 9 sessions, I was in the class as well. So not only are we listening to students telling us how wonderful this is, but I'm also experiencing it. So I think that's been really special as an artist myself, that I feel like your teachings, even when we were in those camps and sort of, with small children, being like, what are we doing?
Well, it sounds like you were in the right mindset, right?
Yes.
To stay open and be in the mindset of continual learning and not have a fixed mindset and just think like, I'm good. Like, this is my place. And there's always an opportunity
for sure
to learn. That's super cool. So when did you mentioned it briefly at the beginning of the show that you brought Monica in to and you saw the space and you had this collective vision to some degree, but when did you first connect? And was it like a spark aha moment, or was it organically through building of a relationship that you guys have this shared vision?
So we met a long time ago.
Okay.
We used to go to these creative union dinners held by Mary Kaufman and Zoe Grant in our community. And it was before COVID, and we were, you were an artist. I was an artist.
A decade ago.
It was a long time ago.
Okay.
And we have a picture of one of those dinners that we met at in the middle of Esoteric's garden. And so we just sort of followed each other. And then you were at the Ann Temple Smith, one of the markets.
Sure. We've always been aligned and doing very similar things alongside of each other. We both have 3 boys each. We have been on the sports field and all kinds of things together. So our life is very much aligned. However, we both have very different skill sets. I feel so balanced with Tessa, vice versa. And I think that when she stumbled upon having the space at the garage, you know, I truly believe in all things happening for a reason. And I think, you know, calling me into the space, getting my thoughts, it really just began something that I think neither one of us can deny. We are, as artists, I feel like a lot of times we are generally introverted or extroverted, but really thrive off of alone time. And it can start to become a tumbleweed of too much alone and being solitude and creating by yourself. But honestly, we have become so much stronger together, and having opportunities like the art practices and community events, we cannot you know, deny the fact that our community is very important. And with that being said, partnering together, we've just been able to make a lot more possible than we would be able to alone.
Yeah, there's definitely a thread of the conversation we'll get into a little bit deeper later on just that. But it sounds like your collaboration was the right mix of ingredients, right? You have shared vision, but not opposing, but different skill sets, different maybe mindset, maybe same mindset, but different skills that you could mash together. That's like the recipe for innovation. That's really cool. So in the vein of collaboration, I think it can be like really magical when things go right. And sometimes it's not that easy, or sometimes it's not that healthy. But what does a healthy, thriving collaboration look like for you two?
That's a great question. I do think it's helpful. We were laughing about it this morning, but as I picked her up from her home, we were both trying to get our boys ready and out the door. I could not ask for a bigger gift to have another fellow boy mom of 3. I'm not sure you can understand what that's like until you're sitting in that spot, and having that support both in motherhood and in business and understanding we have such a similar background in terms of creative director marketing experience, having walked through what it is to work for very difficult demanding small business owners, which is such a gift, walking from corporate experiences, which is you know, a lot more structured and predictable, but having all of those experiences under our belt have led us to a position where we are sharp and strong, and we understand, I think, what we have very firm boundaries in our times of days. We respect our family time. We respect our free time. We understand what it is to have restorative moments so that you can pour into your work. I could not have asked for a better setup in terms of working alongside of somebody because of common understanding, honestly, both in personal life and in work life.
And I think the bouncing ideas and having each other to talk through things, again, with that, we both were in the marketing field separately, doing the same sort of content, the content creation and the strategies, and it was really heavy.
Yeah, it's
and
eye-opening.
So,
and I
eye-opening.
We, having worked through all of that with corporate, small business, one-on-one, whatnot, I think it has developed our respect for like a very strong and firm and clear contract, and you know, very important business aspects as well as like a personal connection. I think you need both.
And believing in that. I mean, those camps that we did, our children were in them because people weren't like, what am I trying to say?
we also needed them to have a place to go.
So it came out of personal need.
Yes,
But then it's like,
yes.
I wonder if this personal need has
Yes,
community need.
yes.
Right.
You know, you think
That's
about
a good place to start.
Yeah, it was a great place, and those my kids still talk about those camps. We still have the artwork that Monica taught them or worked through that. I mean, up in our house, you know, it was really special. To answer that question about working together.
Yeah, I think so. I jotted down like shared understanding
Yeah.
through lived experiences,
Yes,
like
yes.
corporate, nonprofit, like art,
Yeah.
like marketing, all of that
Yeah.
creates an opportunity to have trust.
Yeah.
Like you trust that you know each other in the whole sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is really important. What's something that you have either had to learn or potentially unlearn to be collaborative?
I mean, mine is very simple. It is a reliance on self.
Okay.
I think for a long, long time, I have been coached that is the way, like self-reliance. And as a creative, it's hard because they were being put in like a creative director position or in marketing for a business. You have a clear vision and you're like, I will see this through. And I'm not sure anybody else can, or I can do all, I am capable. And I think that I have been living that too much, and I've allowed like bits and pieces of assistance or help or trust in others, and I have had just this absolute realization this year. I think that working with others and alongside of others and trusting and delegating to the right people is the biggest asset in life, and we are not meant to do any of this alone. That is a lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great perspective. How about you, Tessa?
And I think starting the garage, I really felt like alone. I didn't really want to tell anybody. Imposter syndrome almost.
Okay.
And so, yes, I brought Monica in. I brought a few other people in, but then I really didn't, I wasn't sure what what my vision was. And I didn't ask for help very often, mainly because I didn't want to hear it. I was so used to people's opinions. And then I think that having really like grounded myself in it and really been like, okay, like I feel like I'm in the right place. These are great thoughts, but also bringing somebody in and asking an opinion of somebody who is going to help me grow even more, and trusting that.
Yeah, and I think it starts too with believing that you have individual impact and that your work does matter and it does make a difference, and then allowing that to spread.
Yeah, it sounds like almost like trusting yourself a little bit at the beginning, where you're like, well, here's these people, here are these resources, like, but what is this?
Yeah.
But then figuring out that direction to then bring the right people in to move it forward.
Right.
That's really cool. So can you, I mean, it seems like this is what you have described, which is the world, and it's not just the artistic world, but a lot of it is on a pedestal for solo visionary work. Like it is like you're building something and you've kind of done it by yourself. And however, that's not real, as you've described. Like oftentimes you're truly co-creating. So how do you all co-create and not just divide and conquer on things?
I think coming together regularly before events planning even takes place, when we know this gallery exhibition's coming up or this group show's coming up, there's a whole team that makes it possible. So including everyone, including like our door greeter, like the person who just says hello,
first point of contact,
the people,
right?
like you are included in what this looks like because you have a perspective and you're greeting the faces and you're hearing the feedback. So starting early and getting or putting the committee in place for the appropriate event, or I think it just involves like pulling all involved pieces.
Intentionality, inclusion, those are great. What about you, Tessa?
I mean, that's really it, asking for help, but the right people. Again, with our group mini show that we called the Mighty Minis, our last show had 70 artists. Each artist did 3 minis. My father-in-law hung all of it with Monica helping her. And it was like, we really value his thought process and his plan and execution. And so this was the second time that he helped us. And it's just so special to have him part of this. He says it's like lining lacrosse fields. And so like it's really important that that the right people are here helping us, and we value that.
How do you know it's the right person helping you?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, it's not an easy answer, I'd assume.
Feel it.
Yeah, you do feel it, right?
We do talk often about the people who have been willing
to show
help
up
Okay.
from nothing. People who have been enthusiastic supporters from the beginning are a true testament to who sees vision and support, even when it's not this publicized thing.
Right.
You know, it is hard to figure out who is the right help. And that comes with trial and error sometimes, unfortunately. But I think as long as we're walking in the path and the vision that I think we've been blessed with, I think the right people will always walk alongside of us. So I think trusting until you have reason not to. I'm grateful for all interest and assistance.
I tell you, people constantly are like, let me help. And I'm appreciative of that. Sometimes it's better to have, as you said, a smaller committee.
Yeah.
Because, you get too many cooks in the kitchen. But I still...
It becomes a logistical issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it's just too much noise sometimes. And so I think that was something I really learned early on, is like too much noise isn't always the best. I think our personalities really mix well. I do better with, because I'm like all over the place in organized chaos. And so I do better with people that are keeping me calm and just knowing that I don't always want to ask for help, but I do need help. So
that's great. I mean, that's good self-awareness and like bringing people in that can help you be the best version of yourself. I think that's good.
Yeah.
So much of your work, murals, gallery, cultivation, nonprofit design, is all about building space for others.
Yeah.
How does collaboration play a role in shaping community?
That's a great question. Well, we've kind of, through a small vision of the garage of providing an artistic space, and it's just like the very beginning, it has itself become something that we have decided to sharpen. So we have now, when people ask what the garage is or what it's become, we share like it's an educational space, it's an art gallery, it's these things. But we've now, in the last month, developed these 4 pillars that we will operate under. So the first being a gallery space, so a place for people to show their work. And you do not have to be an established artist. You can be someone who's doing this for the first time. It is an unintimidated, approachable space to show your work.
Safe
gallery. Secondly, we are in the process of looking for a larger space outside of just the garage, so that we can provide a studio space for working artists. Again, at an affordable rate. It's very hard to find a small space that is secure, well lit, and surrounded by other artists. It's something that a lot of us also miss from art school, is being surrounded by others making, for that opportunity for critique or just encouragement or just visually seeing other people doing work. The third pillar would be a therapeutic education space. So not only providing just the classroom environment of like how to use a pencil, how to use a watercolor paint, but combining it with a therapeutic aspect with working art therapists, public school educators. We have such a laundry list there, but providing a space for ages 0 to 100
Full
for
circle.
a full circle life offering of practice. Although you might be a professional artist, you still need the practice. And then finally, the community space, which is perhaps the most important. The garage has become such a vital spot for the Vibe District to host all of their community events, public schools to offer things. The Governor's School recently hosted a fundraising event there. It's just a place to provide that community event space as well.
And that's really where I think that first mural festival, that same summer of your art camps, our art camps, Miss Monica's art camps. That was that first where they painted the mural, and all those people came in, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember us chatting about that.
And I think that was like the first moment that I was like, this is a community space. People can come in and do something that they've never done before. So that collaboration with the Vibe Creative District really has been monumental with the growth and the whatever, all of it. And so that will continue. We also have Creative Mornings, Virginia Beach there. And that is just so, I mean, we're having one this Friday. Just really special. People come and they're like, this is the best time ever to talk and listen and interact. And
I love that you had described one of our pillars, which is failing wisely to some degree, because you play small bets, you do some experimentation, then you get feedback, then you iterate.
Yeah.
So it's very on brand from an entrepreneurial mindset perspective, what you have executed against. I want to talk about like sharing power within a collaborative space. So especially in the arts where voices can sometimes be overlooked, how do you make sure and ensure that the space is for everyone, that as you're describing? So is it targeted messaging to them that you're both marketing folks? Like how do you make sure people feel included and that there is a share of?
Yeah, that's the number one priority, right? For strategic marketing and, determining your audience. Our audience is broad. I mean, it is so much more convenient when you have a teeny tiny niche of an audience, but we want to be something that's like beautifully developed. Is one of our art camp participants, Maddie. She was, her family was the most enthusiastic about our camps and hung up all her art, and we had no idea that her grandmother was just this incredible lifetime artist. Recently passed away, and they have decided to give all of her work to us to sell in an upcoming art show in a couple weeks, and all donations will go to benefit
the nonprofit.
Our work. So I think,
and that's been a discussion since 2 years ago when she came to camp.
So in our messaging, I bring that up because we are trying to market to Maddie and her grandmother. We want to offer providing an artistic, therapeutic environment for them to have a place for their entire lifespan. So we believe the artist needs, required to have a educational practice throughout their lifetime, a community where they find safe haven, gallery space to show their work, and then finally
where's the part? I don't know.
community, education, gallery. Working studio.
Studio.
So perhaps Maddie is, coming out of college and she wants a working studio, but needs it to be affordable. Perhaps we can sponsor that and give her a space for a year. And, that I think is just where it all comes down to, is marketing to the full lifespan of the artist. But in our messaging, I think that comes through in all of our offerings. And I think as long as we're speaking directly to that Maddie who is growing throughout her life and thinking about the different needs she'll need as she matures in her artistic journey, that is the next endeavor that we need to dive into. Is our strategic
Should we take some
messaging.
notes?
I was just going to say, it sounds very much like Maddie is this customer persona that you're targeting.
Yeah.
There are the Maddies of the world, but then there are the Maddie's grandmothers
Patricia,
of the world.
yes.
Where you need to describe who they are,
Yeah.
right? Authentically who they are and how they would intersect with your value proposition.
I mean, I have 19 boxes of art of Patricia's art in the storage. It's taking up everywhere. It's exciting.
I would say that's next on my list. We've been so good at, knocking away at what we want this to look like, but that's definitely next on our list.
Well, very cool. Has there been something where you had to let go of it So it was an idea, a plan, or maybe a bit of ego, and to make the larger collaboration thrive.
Asking for help.
Okay.
Me personally, again,
Asking for help.
I'm always worried about criticism from other people, and so I think that was the biggest thing. Is actually, I mean, you said it a few weeks ago. Like, you can't. The weight of the world is on your shoulders. You need help, and I want to help. I think you've said that.
Right. And letting go of things that are not
Working.
serving your purpose, like
Yes.
staying aligned with what
Yes.
the vision is and not accepting
Right.
things outside of that. So like renting the space for the sake of renting the space
Right.
when ends up being a huge lift and a burden to turn things
Right.
over, and things that just aren't it. Just stay the path. I think that can be difficult to not give in to things that might be like, easy, but
Fun or
not
shiny.
it. It's just still not it.
Or even and if we say literally, I was renting it to all these different things, comedy shows and markets, and it was just not what I had envisioned, and it was draining. Even though the money was coming in to pay my rent, it was just not. It was not it. And so letting that go, knowing that would be okay, and that it has.
That you could be more aligned with your
Correct.
vision.
Yes.
Right. So you've spoken a lot about the nonprofit that you're launching to support artists. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that looks like?
I have a mission statement if I can grab it.
You can grab it. I'm going to ask you then, Tessa.
Yes.
So while she's finding that,
Yes.
what kind of impact are you hoping to get through this work? And like, how will you see collaboration continuing to be like a driving force in that impact?
I really see that this is going to be the beacon of the community. It already is. The garage has already become this hub.
Yeah.
There was a really sweet article written about me that I became the matriarch of a slew of artists that didn't know they needed one, and an accidental matriarch. And I just feel like with this next step, we have just an even bigger reach. And so would you like to read our
Yeah,
mission
Monica.
statement?
Hit us with the mission.
So the goal is to make the garage to remain as the garage gallery. And we hope to develop a couple more galleries for different rotating events and artists. But the umbrella will be called the Creative Well Arts Foundation. And that we pulled that name just for the wellness aspect, the Creative Well Arts Foundation, but also like a well that you fill from.
The visual. I like that.
Yes, in our figure drawing class recently, everyone would use that statement of like, gosh, my cup is so full. My cup is so full. And I just had this vision of a well. So our mission statement that we've developed is the Creative Well Arts Foundation supports artists throughout their lifelong journey by providing accessible studio spaces, community connection, therapeutic arts education, and gallery opportunities to create, grow, heal, and thrive. And our vision will be to be a lifelong wellspring of inspiration, support, and growth for artists at every stage of their creative path.
Wow. I love it. It's very lofty in terms of the ambition.
Is that good, lofty?
No. Like your vision should set the course, right? Like
Right.
that's the direction that you're headed,
Yes.
and the mission is how you live it. With that in mind, in that future state, who are the organizations that would be like, oh my gosh, this would be the biggest win ever if we could partner with this organization to execute a shared vision?
So we
We already have those.
Oh,
We already have those.
let's talk about it.
Very, very blessed with like
Yes.
such a connected community at the beach. Born and raised there. I'm grateful. I feel like I have had working with so many small businesses and nonprofits now that I am grateful for every relationship that I have established over the years. It made it an easy thought last week when we were in the process of launching nonprofit to meet up with our friend Amy Darby at the Eliza Hope Foundation. They help facilitate families with autism, and she was such an encouragement to us, and she could not wait to partner with us to bring her children to experience therapeutic arts from her program to have a show and then have a fundraising event. She already is like, let's do it.
She's like, let's book a date. We were like,
2 a year.
Okay.
But we've also had the opportunity to meet a lot of the public school arts teachers who love their jobs deeply and feel a little bit lack of support or want to do things outside of the classroom to support their students. So that would be a dream, to work with the Virginia Beach public school systems in a different way.
Neptune Festival. So
Yeah.
something that's happened through a connection with Monica is last Neptune Festival. So last September, I partnered with them to launch the first ever Young Collectors tent at Neptune Festival Boardwalk Weekend. And that was, artists donated their work, and then children could come into the tent with my volunteers without their parents. The walls were clear, so parents could see their
Transparent tent.
Yes, sorry. And then the children could pick out a piece of art to start their collection for $5. And that was hugely successful. And just, I mean,
Developing the concept of collection, and developing their eye for what they choose and why, and without guidance, is a really beautiful concept. And so the garage was able to partner with the Neptune Festival that I work with, and opportunities like that with our community, making Virginia Beach, being in the heart of the Vibe District, is so important to us. So we hope to remain there,
And the Vibe Creative District is a nonprofit as well. So I lead tours for them. The VB Street Art Festival at the end of the month will be at the hub of that, will be at the garage. Same with Mural Festival. So that continuing relationship that really kind of started that community aspect, and that, I mean, is still there. So we have strong partnerships already, but we look forward to even more.
The limit does not exist.
Well, cool. I really appreciate you contextualizing that for the audience. My question is, and a couple of key takeaways, and then we'll do a closing segment, is for anyone listening, they're a student, they're a community member, they're an entrepreneur, maybe they're a community leader. What advice would you give them for building truly collaborative partnerships? And like, if you could tie it up relatively like succinctly, like right. If you could say like this is the one sentence, or this is the few things that they probably need to be thinking about and considering to make it a reality.
I recently heard something that resonated deeply with me, that I believe has a lot to do with how this collaboration has come to fruition for us, is finding first your passion in life. It does not have to be your work. It can be your work, but it can be, something that just sparks joy, and you could do it all day long without thinking,
burning out.
I think you said I worked 10 hours, 14 hours the other day, and I
felt great.
Feel like I worked at all.
Yeah.
So finding something that brings immense joy that you have a gift in. We are all gifted with unique qualities, and a lot of times we are easy to dismiss what those are because they come so naturally to us. So find out what you're naturally driven and born to do, and then use that to create a purpose, which is how you change the world around you with that gift. And I think if you are doing that, or driving to do that, the collaborative people will fall alongside. And I truly believe that. I think looking for it as well. So if you have those blinders up and you're so used to working in solidarity, you're not going to have it. But if you're in alignment with your passion, which develops into a purpose, I think that if you are walking the path, you will look next to you and you'll be like, oh, hey, like, what are you doing here? And I think that those people don't just walk alongside you for no reason. So take the time to explore the relationships in your life, or those who are aligned with you in life, and see if there's something there, what you could do together to make it better.
Awesome.
Mine is a little bit more simpler. Just show up for them. Like, I want to show up for you all the time. You show up for me. You just, even from the beginning, no matter what it was, like if I was doing something and you just showed up, even when I was doing my little illustrations and my search and finds a gazillion years ago, it feels, Monica showed up. that was it. I mean, so I think that that's the biggest thing. Yes, have a joy and find your passion, all that, everything she said, but showing up.
Yeah. Consistently,
right. Yes, not
when
feel
things
like
are great,
it, or if
right.
like it fits into your schedule. I mean, you rearrange your day just so you can show up to things, and I do the same thing. I love you.
This last one is just for fun. What's one word or image that best captures how it feels when collaboration is working really well?
Butter.
Butter. Oh, I like that.
You like butter.
Oh, please. You got to elaborate on that a little bit. Butter.
It's like rich and it's good and it's simple
Yeah.
and it's basic, but it's like the bread and butter. It's
Yeah.
just the good stuff, and it is like room temperature. Not cold, not cold.
The thing that can spread easily.
Room temperature butter.
I love that. That's great. Thanks, Monica.
Yeah, it feels comfortable. Family. I don't know.
Ooh, family.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I could dump my 3 boys at her house and I would just...
I would crush it.
You would too. Yeah. Yeah. You bring your
6
kids.
boys.
All of them. Just take them all.
That's awesome. Well, that's it for us today. Monica and Tessa, thank you so much for being here. Speaking of butter, this has been a super rich conversation. And it's not just about ideas. It's about the lived experiences and what it means to co-create with others and not just for others. To our listeners, remember that collaboration isn't just about dividing the work. It's about trusting others and pulling in complementary perspectives and skills to create something better than you could create alone. Whether you're launching a venture, painting a mural, or building a community from scratch, the right collaboration can take you farther and faster with more joy along the way. And if you want to connect with Monica and Tessa's journey, check out The Garage VB on Facebook, Instagram, and their website, thegaragevb.com. And don't worry if you've missed that as I've rattled it off. You can find them in the episode description. You can reach out to them if you're interested in supporting their new nonprofit initiative. Until next time, keep thinking big, stay open to new ideas, and don't be afraid to invite someone in to the process. See you next time.
Roy. Roy. But then in my head, I'm like, what happens when we change our website and our Instagram? I was like, oh no.
Well, Tessa, you gotta
I'm like,
come
full
back
of
then.
anxiety. I'm
You gotta come back.
I'm like, what happens when this launches and we don't have it? What are we going to do?